I don't know about you guys, but I love spending the first half of my day playing in a card tournament and coming home with nothing to fucking show for it. Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today, and I had a unique video idea that I had come up with. I want to talk about 5 games that you could play before Fallout 76 came out, and a huge emphasis on could play, because this isn't one of those typical videos of games you should play before a certain title comes out, because that would just be a list comprised of Fallout games in my honest opinion. But with this list, I want to talk about games that could maybe pique your interest if you're a Fallout fan, because if you're interested in Fallout 76, chances are that when you play this game, it's going to be a multiplayer game. It's a good chance it monopolizes your life. It's a good chance that this is the only game you're picking up this fall. So here are games that you could play before that whole storm ensues. Number 1, we're digging deep into the past for this one, Deadlight. This is a post-apocalyptic title that I dropped all the way back in, I believe, the 2012 Xbox Live Summer Arcade. It is set in a 1986 fictionalized version of Seattle, and pretty much it is a melancholy, bleak styled game featuring a simple 2D side-scrolling gameplay mechanic. It really harks back to the early 90s. For those of you who are like me and love the Oddworld games, both old and new, if you want a comparison, try to think of those. But like I said, the coolest part about this is it has a great story coupled into an old style of gameplay, and on top of all that, it's not a huge time or money investment. You can actually currently get this on PS4. It's about 5 hours long, and it's a unique adventure you can go on that won't really drain your wallet. Number 2 is one that once I list off, you'll be like, why is this on a Fallout game list? But hear me out, Warframe. As I was playing through Warframe with some patrons for a gaming session, I realized that this could represent a lot of how Fallout 76 runs as a game, especially on the free update, which opens up a whole area, pretty much an open world section of the game itself, where you can collect quests in a hub area and then go out into the open world, complete them, and come back. It's cooperatively focused, there's a lot of horde-based stuff, there's tiny sprinkles of lore throughout, and as I played it more and more, like I said, it just reminded me a lot of what I've heard of Fallout 76, and in an odd way, it was slightly encouraging because Warframe was really fun. Now granted, in Warframe, you can run around and dash like a freaking ninja. It's sick. So it really has that going for it, whereas Fallout 76 is just a first-person shooter in a very unique universe with cool weaponry. So I'm not sure if the ability to dash around like it's nobody's business in Warframe really lent itself some additional fun, especially as I'm throwing kunai, cutting people with a katana and stuff. You know, that's right up my weeb alley. But Warframe is free to play. It really doesn't demand you to sink your money into it. It's a fun time, and I think those who are interested in Fallout 76 should give this one a look, especially if you tried it many years back. Maybe it wasn't up your alley then. There have been a lot of updates that have improved the game, and a lot of people are starting to get hooked. Plus, it's coming to the Nintendo Switch. Number 3, State of Decay. If you are an Xbox One owner, chances are you already own this game. If you don't own it, or maybe you're on the PC, allow me to convince you why you should have this game. Number 1, if you have the Game Pass, you get that along with many other games per month, so you can download it right away. Number 2, its survival mechanics are still fantastic. Now, there are bugs, there are technical errors, and there is still work that needs to be done. But on the other hand, we have one of the more unique post-apocalyptic games that, although it works very similarly to many other survival games out there, I found myself engrossed in State of Decay. And when I found myself asking why, I realized it was because of the many layers within the gameplay where everything kind of stacks upon one another. When you are performing one action, you have to consider another and how it can impact yet another part of the community. And it can boil down to something as simple as shooting your gun in broad daylight. Yes, it will take out that one person who is scavenging the area you're going to and is being a threat to you, but you can piss off another community. You can alert zombies nearby. There's that immediate effect and that after effect, and a lot of the sections of the gameplay that kept me thinking as a player and kept me mentally engaged, which is one of the hugest parts of any game that you can have out there, is when the player is mentally involved. It can look cool, it can look good, but if it's not really bringing you in, then what is the point? That's something I often ask myself. But State of Decay 2 still manages to be inviting despite a lot of its mechanic complexity. So if you do have an Xbox One and you haven't gotten this one, get on it. And if you own a PC and you're looking for that nice post-apocalyptic open world experience, survival stuff, and constantly building a community and bringing resources to and fro, this one is for you. And also, 20 bucks tops. Not really a big money sink here. I'm trying to think of more budgety titles for people because this is a video mainly to play games before Fallout 76 that isn't too far away, where between then and now, you don't want to spend too much money, I'd imagine. The last two on this list are obscure, but I wanted to add them anyway because I felt they'd be a good fit for role-playing game fans. Number 4, Vampir. Still my 2018 game of the year, not because it's a flashy tech show, not because it looks good, because it's none of those. Vampir is in many ways a true role-playing game. Dialogue is very engaging as it loops into the XP system. The hint system is well structured, inviting the player to dive deeper into the universe, read the lore, talk to everyone as much as possible, and then once all those hints are unlocked, you make the choice. Do you feed on that person, or do you let them go peacefully and try to live the best life they can? And it doesn't stop there. When you kill them, not only are people connected to them and their social circles impacted, but there is also the district effect that takes place. Once again, much like a lot of the games I've mentioned here, layer, 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 everything is interconnected. It's something that I'm a huge fan of because when everything is intertwined, it leads to a lot of player connectivity. And then you find yourself, as you're diving deep into the dialogue, emotionally resonating with a lot of the characters that are featured in this game. Almost all of them are really well written. There is an issue with fans that a lot of the endings are determined by not whom you kill, but how many you kill, so that is a complaint definitely worth mentioning. But the ending can go a good couple of ways, so keep that in mind that there is this replayability factor in there as someone who's played it twice. And I found the combat solid. I really enjoyed being able to switch between weapons, whether it was a single melee, a blunt weapon, stabbing someone and gaining blood absorption, you use blood powers, two-handed, which did stun effect as well as heavy damage. The ultimate effects you can shift through, dodging, which is one of the silkiest animations. I say it every single time. Still 2018's silkiest animation. There's a lot to love about Vampir. It also has, on top of that, a great main story, which, while it didn't blow me away, I still found myself caring about the characters, being involved in what's happening with Jonathan Reed. Plus, man, the aesthetic. The aesthetic is just what reels you in right away. There is no other game quite like this. Don't Nod has always had a reputation of trying something very original, and Vampir does just that. 1918 London during the First World War. This gothic setting, it's just, you just want to be there. Not literally, but like, you want to be there in the game. Last on the list, and this is one that I actually just started yet again, the Darksiders series. We have Darksiders 3 coming out at the end of the year if you are intrigued, and the Darksiders series is always on a good sale. It is another post-apocalyptic franchise. The first one, which I will mainly be talking about, is you playing as War. He is one of the 4 horsemen. It's an old style God of War hack and slash. It's nothing crazy deep or complex on the levels of what I was mentioning earlier in some of these games. So if a lot of what I've mentioned feels like, you know, I'm not looking to dive that deep into a game lately, then this is the type of game that would be up your alley. Simple hack and slash, solid story, a series with a future, and also there is the sequel Darksiders 2 that you can still check out. They've been remastered for new consoles. They're available on old consoles, I believe on backwards compatibility. Like I said, they're always on good sales. And for example, me personally, I'm playing Octopath Traveler. That's a game that when you're engaging in the combat, it is very mentally demanding because there's a lot of different weapon types you have to balance, and also the boost and the magic, the weaknesses of your enemies, trying to exploit them. Sometimes I just want to unplug and beat the crap out of things, rip them apart with the circle button, and that's really what Darksiders is. It's also going to be cool for those who do get involved to see how the series evolves when you look at 1, then 2, and then check out what 3 is doing. So that's the last one on the list. Those are 5 games that you could check out before Fallout 76. I do hope you guys enjoyed this list. Let me know if there's any additions you want to make. The lights just flickered in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those are in the links in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.